I'm just a simple guy that likes to have fun and work hard. I always thought I was gonna have a job because from a family of doctors, and everyone just told me, you gotta go to school. Everything happens for a reason. I'm not trying to sell anything to anybody. I'm not trying to be a mentor. I don't have a course. When I wake up and start working on business, it's not work. I do whatever I want. At the same time, it makes money. It's cool.
Welcome back to the Beyond the Wealth podcast. I'm your host, Andres Sanchez. Today, I have Vlad. Vlad has built a successful Amazon automation company named Inopoli and has a ton of amazing stories to talk about. Vlad, thank you so much for coming on the show, brother.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on, man. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, of course. This is round 2 for us here. We had a first try. Now we're back at it. Tell everybody who Vlad is before we dive in and start talking about your journey and your company.
Sheesh, who's Vlad?
This question could be different 7 days a week, right?
Yeah, literally. I'm just a simple guy that likes to have fun and work hard. Like I enjoy life, do fun shit in life, work really hard, and run a bunch of companies. Simple as that, man.
Yeah, I mean, I follow you and I've been following you, so I'm very aware that you like to have fun and that you work really hard. So when did you kind of get that itch for entrepreneurship? When did you feel like you wanted to jump into the world of running a company?
I never thought I'd actually do that. I always thought, I was gonna have a job because coming from a family of doctors, and everyone just kind of told me, you got to go to school, you got to get grades, you got to do all this. And I did go on that journey for a while, but I was kind of forced to go into entrepreneurship because I got a DUI. And I figured if I go back into school, because I dropped out for boxing, but if I go back to school and boxing didn't work out, I wouldn't be able to get a job as a doctor because I already had a record.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that kind of forced me into it.
Hey, I've asked that question. Now we're on episode 60-something, I think. So I'll probably ask that question 60 times. No one has had a DUI force them into entrepreneurship, which maybe not the best way, but at the end of the day, look what it turned you into.
Everything
Everything
happens for a reason. Like I was never opposed to anything. I knew whatever I put my mind into, I knew I was gonna accomplish, and I think like that's so important. And life kind of unfolded itself that way. I mean, I didn't think I was gonna be in e-commerce at all.
Yeah.
Now I am. Yeah, it's just life's crazy, man.
Where did that passion for boxing come from?
I just used to watch boxing when my grandfather was younger, and that's kind of like, I didn't train for years or anything like that. I just one day I'm like, damn, I really hate school. I really don't want to do anything. I want to do something I like doing, and I want to make money. And the only thing I knew at that point was nothing I learned from school that I liked. So I'm like, let me just go fight, see how that works out. Didn't work out, but yeah.
How long did you box for? Did you ever go semi-professional? What was that journey?
I was hit amateur. I competed. I had, I think, like 9, 10 competitions in Florida alone. Sparred all over the world. Was fun. Didn't work out because of a heart issue. And I think I competed was like 2.5, 3 years almost. So I wasn't nowhere near pro, but definitely what I wanted to do at that point in time in my life.
Yeah, for sure. I always find a pretty direct correlation between successful entrepreneurs and athletes, like having an athletic background. Do you think anything you learned in that time where you were training, working your ass off, translated over to the person you are now?
I actually don't think I had a very strong mindset back when I used to train.
Okay.
I believe I actually had a lot of downfalls in boxing because when I look back to when I was training, I was nowhere near as strong-headed as I am today. But the fact that I can even see that and realize that is like shows how much I've grown since then.
Yeah.
A lot of the mindset came from actually when I did network marketing and I started doing a lot of mental development.
Mm-hmm.
Listening to people like Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, and a bunch of other people that have learned how to cultivate and develop a mindset of winning. Because if you don't think you're gonna win, you never will.
What is network marketing for people listening?
Some of you guys probably heard of like companies like Amway or Herbalife or something like that.
Yeah.
You can join every company has a referral program. Every single company out there in the world. Some just pay a little bit more than others. So you have the opportunity to join a company, sell their service or product, and then from there you earn a commission or a residual income.
I know a lot of people like to refer to those types of companies like a Cutco as kind of like a pyramid scheme. Mm-hmm. but there are positives clearly from being in part of those organizations. What would you say to the person that's listening and is like, that's a scam, that's a pyramid scheme?
Well, I mean, every single company is a pyramid. You got CEO, and then you got everybody else. So, I mean, just don't do anything in life if you think that's a scam. If you're selling a product or a service and earn a commission from it, how is that a scam?
Yeah. It's just the
It's just some people don't know how to explain it the right way, and then yeah, it could sound like a scam, but at the end of the day, everything works and nothing doesn't. So if you don't think it's gonna work, then nothing's gonna work.
for sure. I mean, that's a great answer. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
So, what skills did you learn in your time network marketing that kind of helped you realize or that you were able to take to this next gig?
I mean, overall people skills, man, because like that's the number one thing. Like you could build any kind of company, you could build anything you want, as long as you understand how people work. You know what I mean? It's just having the power of just one communicating an effective message, and communicate it in a way where you can get somebody to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the most powerful things you can do. I mean, look at, for instance, Barack Obama, right? I don't care about politics. I care about who a person is and how they can communicate. Barack Obama is one of the best communicators I've ever seen in my life. If you like just study his speeches and how he can move and get you to feel something through his speech, I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, I forget who it was that I read recently that stated that the next generation or the next 10 to 20 years will be dictated by, like, the entrepreneurs that are successful in the next 10 to 20 years are the ones that can tell the best stories. Storytelling is a skill that you can translate across anything. What do you feel about that?
Facts tell and stories sell.
Yeah.
That's how it works, man. I mean, just look at Elon Musk, right? That's one of the most influential people in the world. He's an entrepreneur, but people listen to him just because of how he communicates and what he's done, right? And there's so many more people out there, especially like with social media now. So many influencers, right? People that are not even trying to be an influencer, but they are just because of the way they communicate.
Yep.
I think that's cool. I think it's cool that we have the power to, like right now, we're in a podcast, right? We can actually influence down the road a certain amount of people.
Yep.
I think that's really powerful.
Yeah, I think we're just growing up in this extremely unique time in life where if you talk to a 25 and 30-year-old 50 years ago and told them that they could talk and give their opinion and potentially hundreds of thousands of people could hear, they would laugh in our face and say no chance. Like,
Yeah.
you've got to be the CEO, you've got to be the president. Now anybody and everybody can get a phone, pick up a mic, and talk to as many people as are willing to listen.
Right.
And I think that we're pretty blessed to be able to live in a time where that is becoming common.
Yeah, and it's just like, I started making content maybe 8 months ago, something like that now, and it's crazy what I've noticed, like consistent content, like how many people one have the opportunity to see it, and when you could go viral and how that changes everything. I think that's super cool. It's like, I mean, mainly I'm doing it for fun.
Yeah.
I really don't care, but it's cool. Like I started to notice like people when I go places, especially around Miami, I started to notice me, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. You're kind of living, like, I mean, at least for me, I think back when I was younger, athletes were like the cool people to me. It's like, whoa, like that's a professional athlete. Like, people recognize him in public. Now, someone like yourself, a personality on social media,
Yeah.
can go to a restaurant and get recognized like if you were a famous athlete. But you're just somebody having fun making content, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So you said you just started your content journey like 8 months ago. How's that been?
I mean, again, like I don't have an agenda with it, right? I'm
Yeah.
not trying to sell anything to anybody. I'm not trying to be a mentor. I don't have a course or anything like that at this point in time. I'm legit just being myself,
Yeah.
talking shit, talking about the fun stuff, talking some business. I actually like some of my least favorite content is just pure business, just because nobody wants to hear, man. People go on social media to be entertained,
Yeah.
but like being able to entertain has gotten me so much business. It's crazy, bro. And I don't talk about business on my social media. Like I just literally just talk shit.
Yeah, you recently went viral for something that was fun and
Yeah.
like a Miami-based comment. What was that?
Yeah, that was me talking about how life is driving a Lambo in Miami. Like nobody gives a fuck, right? No, it's like a Honda here.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Like a lot of people have one here. Now you go 10 minutes out of Miami, it's like, oh, people start looking at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what I was talking about.
That pocket in Brickell and Miami Beach area is kind of like a fake world.
Yeah, yeah. Like it really, as much as it is as a real world, it's like not reality for most people.
No.
But it's fun, man. It's so much fun.
I got a chance to go to the Orange Bowl, which is always here in Miami. I think it's like the game below the national championship games, or it's like the highest one in college football. And I was wearing a Kith shirt, and a lady comes up to me in the VIP section, and she's like, "Oh, I just took my kids to that store. It's crazy. My son saw 15 exotic cars today, and he lives in like we live in Kansas. We've never seen a nice car like a six-figure car before."
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm born and raised in Miami. I've grown up seeing Rolls Royces, Lambos, McLarens, and to him it was like, bro, this is insane. And I
Yeah.
realized we live in like this little bubble here in Miami and are exposed to.
I mean, to us, it's like, well, we leave Florida and we see a mountain. People are like, oh my
Yeah.
God, right? Or we see a horse or something. Like, most people in Miami, they don't see that kind of stuff.
No, our horses are Ferraris.
Yeah. True that.
So you've built this business or these businesses now and have clearly created success. If not, you wouldn't have pulled up in the Lamborghini to the interview today. Talk about the businesses you've created.
Yeah, so I have quite a bit now. My main businesses is I have an automation company which handles my Amazon clients. It handles Amazon. Then I have a distribution company which is responsible for handling the brands, acquiring access to products. And then of course I have the warehousing company that preps all the products, quality assurance, all that kind of stuff. So all those companies, they kind of work together into making this one massive ecosystem. And it's crazy. The other day I was actually thinking, there's a lot of people have said this quote before, like if you build it, they will come. And I realized like throughout building, my entrepreneurship journey, no one's ever came. Up until like recently, I started realizing, wow, people are out there actually searching, looking for me, right? And like coming to me and like, yo, I've been following you for years. Like this is awesome. Or I finally have an opportunity that I've never had before to like get into a business like this. And I'm baffled. It's like people actually been following me and watching it, and they're just coming to me now. It's kind of crazy when you get to that point in life or in your business. So that was like something I realized recently, which is really cool. So if you build it, they will come, but you got to really fucking build it.
You got to work. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not just easy.
No.
You can't just build it and then take your hands off the wheel and just expect things to start coming your way. You got to continue working, probably double as hard once you finish building it, to then start creating the ability to let people start coming to you.
Yeah. It's truly amazing thing, to be honest.
Explain a little bit, because I know, because I did research on you and we've talked personally about what automation is and what these companies do, but I want to make sure if somebody's listening here that might want to work with you or might want to get into what you're doing, what is Amazon automation and how does it work?
Yeah, so basically this ecosystem, it's opportunity for investors it's something outside of real estate or stock market where you can actually put your money to work. Basically, you hire my automation company. We go ahead and instead of like buying a real estate property, you hire my automation company to build you an Amazon store or Walmart. We build a lot of different platforms. And then from there, we identify the hottest selling products online. We give you the opportunity to buy them. And then from there, we get them on your store, we manage your store, get everything going, make sure it sells. And from there, it's just an automated machine that you own that generates you cash flow every single day. Because you're making sales every single day.
And it's hands off.
It's 95% hands off. I'm not a money manager, so I can't spend your money without your approval. But basically, you just say yes or no. I mean, my clients claim that it takes under an hour a month to manage it.
Sure.
So it's a very kind of passive opportunity, just an alternative investment, basically. And we're beating any real estate investment you could possibly find right now or any stock market portfolio. It's insane. Like it just on the lower end, we're seeing 20% a year cash on cash return, which if you're putting it into real estate, and I mean, you got to be a pretty big mogul to be able to make 20% a year.
20% is solid, and you're not getting that in the market consistently over a 10-year period.
Well, yeah, the average is what, 10% a year?
Yeah, it's like 8 to 12.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Grant Cardone's reportings for what investors are earning. They're about 6 to 8%.
Yeah.
and we're doing on the lower end 20. Like we have some clients doing 50, 60%, which is insane. But Amazon's massive. It's almost a $2 trillion company. Everyone watching, have Amazon packages arriving every day. Well, how do you think they get there? It's people like us.
It's funny. I was literally talking to Anthony today. I was like, dude, I've never shot back-to-back episodes. I need batteries and 2 SD cards. Ordered it on Amazon at 11 in the morning. Had it here at the house by 2 p.m. In the cameras, ready to rock and roll.
Exactly.
What other business makes it that simple?
And that's another point. So like that's what we identified too, is a lot more businesses are now shopping on Amazon than ever before.
Yep.
Because exactly that reason. 11 o'clock you ordered, by 2 p.m., 4 p.m., it's going to be at your house. Especially in Miami, right? Like, hey, if you probably live in like, Ohio, probably not same day. 1 or 2 days probably. But like bigger cities, yeah, it's same day delivery, man.
And it's like, what I've noticed is when I see products that I want or when I see things that I like, I will default to checking if it's on Amazon instead of going directly through them because of the fact that all of my stuff's already in there and I know I'll probably get it faster.
Yeah, it's like, I've noticed like a lot of people, the hype about TikTok shops.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hate TikTok shops. I ordered like 3 different things on there before. It takes 2-3 weeks to arrive, man. I don't care if it's an extra $15 on Amazon. I'm going to get it today.
Yep.
That's what I want, right?
Yeah, it's crazy this ecosystem that they've built and like quietly have just at first it was just a bookstore displacement and now they've quietly like I order my creatine off Amazon, I order my camera equipment off Amazon, I order my energy drinks off Amazon, like anything that I want comes from them because I know within 3 clicks it's at my front door in less than 3
And
days.
if something's wrong with it, it's fixed right away.
Immediately. You don't have to hassle any. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So like, okay, listening to you talking about what these returns are from your businesses, sounds like a no-brainer. There's got to be a decent upfront capital needed to jump into it.
Oh yeah, I mean our average ticket's 50 grand. I mean we have services going up to 150, 200. Really just depends. One, how much money do you want to be making? How complex a build out do you want? The average is 50, but we can go up even higher just depending on how much you want.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, at the end of the day, you got to pay to play. So
Absolutely.
to guarantee double the returns you would get in the stock market, you just have to allocate.
Just think about it. Like if you just want to make a few $100,000 a year, you go buy a McDonald's. That's $1.2 million up front.
Yep.
And then you got to buy burgers. You got to have people train to work for McDonald's, whatever. You got to have money, right? For me to build a business for you, you got to have money, right? It's not, and that's what my ideal clients typically 40 and above. Mm-hmm. That's typically not necessarily because they have more money, but because they have a better understanding, and it's not cutting out opportunity cost. Yeah. Like my chiropractor friend, he's like, "Hey, I want to get a store from you." I'm like, "Dude, if you're gonna give me about 200 grand, what if you put 200 grand into your business right now?" And he's like, "Oh, well, I'll make this, this, and this." I'm like, "Do that first, then invest with me after." It's like, well, if 200 grand won't do anything for you right now, or 50 grand or 100 grand, then it's time to do it. Yes.
Yeah.
But like it's the same thing with real estate. Like unless you have millions and millions and millions of dollars, why are you buying a house just to make $1,500 a month? Like with a few hundred grand, you could do a lot more than that.
Yeah, again, it goes back to what we were talking about of this like time that we live in now, where we have access to an abundance of information. Where typically the only information you received was what people older than you around you fed you, whether it was right or wrong. What they said was stone. It's like, okay, my grandpa tells me that I got to put money in the stock market and buy a house. That's what I'm doing because I don't know any better. Now, you have the ability to hear, listen, learn, take what you want from all of these different people. And it's funny, telling somebody now that it doesn't make sense to buy a house because you can spend all that money on a business and make way more and rent for a little bit and then buy your dream home when you're ready to move in. People will be like, no, that's ridiculous, that's crazy. But they don't know that there's 18, 19-year-olds who have agencies that are making 100 grand a month.
Yep.
And they can't even fathom that. And it's cool that we get to be part of this crazy time of generational wealth being created at a younger age than ever before.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just literally there's no limits to anything. It's like the only limit you have is yourself.
Literally.
And once you open your mind to new opportunities and just put a little thought into it, it's crazy what you can do, man. I was just like, just looking back, like, I turned 30 this week, whatever, last week, yeah. And just thinking back, looking back at my life, it's like, whoa, this is not what I expected. It's crazy, man.
That's funny, and I'm gonna ask a question that I asked everybody at the end of our episode that that I think you'll enjoy because it's basically what just happened to you, but to the future you. So I'm excited to hear your answer on that. But thinking about like you and being so shocked about this journey you've been on, what are some highlights in this time? Because you've built these companies, you've been successful. What are some highlights that stand out from your time?
Yeah, I actually made an Instagram post about this. Like, one, I believe just hitting 30. Like, I now finally am comfortable with like what I like, right? Because a lot of times you're growing up. One, you care about what other people think about you way too much. Like nobody is actually thinking about you, right?
Yeah.
People are out there just trying to survive, make a living, and just enjoy their time, right? No one has time to really think about you. So whatever you like, nobody's gonna fuck. So just like what you like, man. Enjoy your life. So being able to be comfortable and like learning to be comfortable with who I am and just what I like, it's okay. I think that's super powerful. Also goes back to like, you go to LA Fitness or any gym really, and you walk in, you're in the locker room, changing or whatever, and then you see some old guy, 60 years old, with his fucking dick dangling,
Yeah.
right? You finally understand, like, yo, they're at the point in their life that they don't give a fuck, bro.
They don't give a
They don't
shit.
give a shit if it's 1 inch, fucking whatever it is. Like, I don't give a fuck. I live my life. Like, you start to understand like how cool it is to like just not give a fuck. I think that's my biggest highlight. I mean, other than that, I've started and failed lots of businesses, got lots of experience with failure, which is great because failure leads to success.
Yep.
I was able to buy my mom a house, a car, bought a yacht, fucking insane. Lived in one of the nicest penthouses in Miami. You've been there.
That place is amazing.
Got a supercar, which is cool. And just got to explore a lot of different parts of the world. Got to feed thousands of children just in the past year. Now that my company's doing consistent food drives, helping a lot of different people. Being able to employ hundreds of people, affect hundreds of families, service hundreds of clients. And I just feel like I'm getting started still, man. It's
Yeah,
like
I mean, dude, you're 30. Like,
Yeah.
You got 20 plus years of runway here if you want it.
Easily, man. You look at Warren Buffett, like, why is he still working? It's like,
Dude,
we're all playing a game at the end of the day. It's not business, it's not like, it was just a game, man. We all have a start button and an end button.
Yep.
And like, we're just having fun. So that's been cool. Those are, I guess, some of the highlights I can think of at the top of my head right now.
Yeah, those are big, and there's some stuff I want to dig in from that. Like, what was it like buying your mom a house? Because that's a goal for a lot of people. You actually were able to fulfill that goal and live it. What was that experience like?
I mean, but when she saw it, I just started shaking and crying, bro. Like, I just didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I couldn't control my emotions. Actually, I have a video of it on YouTube of that day. So it's probably to this day is one of the happiest days of my life. Just being able to do that for her. Yeah.
That's amazing. And I want to talk on the philanthropy part of what you just mentioned because I think that's really important. You mentioned you've been able to feed thousands of people. You're doing all of these food drives. You're employing all these people overseas. How does that make you feel on the inside?
It definitely gives purpose and meaning because like buying a car or just me having nice things doesn't really make me happy. Like I like that stuff, yes, it gives me pleasure, but it doesn't give you like pure happiness.
Yeah.
But like when I see hundreds of kids running towards me and me and my team are just handing out nutritious food for them, seeing the smiles and then seeing their mothers, it's just that right there is like pure joy,
Yeah.
I would say. It's funny because I was reading a book before, and it was psychology class. This is for back in college. They're talking about how like everyone's selfish, and the good things that we do them because they make us feel good, right? Like even having kids, like it makes you feel good. You're not giving a life; it just makes you feel good to give something, right? Or like make a kid. And like to me it's still like I still don't understand this. Am I doing it because this makes me super happy, or is it because it's good, or is it because both? It's a question I have for myself to figure out. But shit, either way, it's good. I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it. But no, it's a different level of happiness, man. When you know your efforts are not just like benefiting you or people around you, but like communities around you and hundreds and thousands of different people. That's badass.
Yeah, and I'm always sympathetic to some of those charity stuff because to me, I've lived an amazing life. My parents blessed me with an amazing life and allowed me to have such an amazing childhood. But when I look back, the most impactful time in my whole life was 2 weeks that I spent in Costa Rica on a missions trip, living in the middle of nowhere, working with this small town of kids to rebuild their playground. And no moment in my life has had that level of impact. And that was when I was 15. I'm 25 now. Nothing in my life has made me feel that type of way.
Yeah.
I have never found that feeling again. And it was just pure joy seeing that these people live with basically nothing and wake up every day with the biggest smile on their face. And I'm thinking, like, dude, I'm bitching when the Wi-Fi's out at my house. Like, who the hell am I?
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
like, I love that you're able to do that. And I love that that's just a part of your journey here as you build these companies out. Because I think it's going to be really special down the road when you look back and you can say, I impacted thousands, tens of thousands of people over 20 years.
Yeah, and like it's just another thing. It's like if you're building a good life for yourself, like you don't because some people are like, oh well, why not buy nice things where you could donate this or you could help other people. It's like, well, because I am, because I'm already doing that, right? And it doesn't make you feel like you're all just for yourself, right? Because as long as you're doing good and helping other people, there's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself. Because I remember I had this problem growing up. I was like, I just never thought I deserved anything nice. Right? I never thought it's like, oh well, if I take a vacation, I'm missing out on money, or I'm not gonna be able to help my family, or whatever the case is, or just spending money on myself. It's like I could be giving it to my mom, or this and that. Now it's like, because you're able to help so many people, it's okay for you to enjoy your life too.
Yeah.
That's just, I don't know, that's probably a really fucking weird way to thinking. I don't know if other people think like that, but that's just how I thought before, and it
No,
helped
but
me.
I think it's very valid. Like, I think people just do things different. Like, there's either the camp of people that make a ton of money and they're like, wow, I deserve this and I'm going to spend it and enjoy it. And then there's the other camp who want to make sure everybody around them is set up and taken care of. Then you feel like that weight is lifted off your shoulder and you can finally enjoy yourself.
Right.
And I think that's the bucket that you fit in.
Yeah, exactly. That's just how I was I guess I was raised. I don't know.
It's this is interesting. Like, you're an immigrant from Ukraine. I had another immigrant from Ukraine sit on the show with me very recently, and he had a very similar comment or conversation where unfortunately there's the war going on right now, and he took 6 months off of his business to just relocate every single one of his family members to different places in Europe, the United States, with his money to make sure everybody was fine. And he didn't care that if he paused the businesses, there was revenue being lost, that there was customers that weren't that he put, like, potential customers he couldn't capture. He didn't care about that. It was about the fact that he knew that he had the ability to help them and he was going to go and do it. And I think that's like what you said, just raised the right way, raised in a way that that's what matters.
Yeah, because why build all the businesses and make all the money if you can't take care of the people around you? Like,
Exactly.
so the fuck's the point of life?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, at that point it's kind of selfish,
Yeah.
unfortunately. You're literally creating wealth and becoming a wealthy person and treating it in a selfish way, which I don't think you shouldn't be wealthy at that point.
Yeah.
When you talk to these millionaires or you listen to these billionaires talk, some of their favorite thing to do is give back.
Well, like, I mean, think about it. Like, think of like back to Christmas. When you're younger, it's like Christmas is cool because you get presents. But when you get older, Christmas is cool because you get to give presents.
Yep. Yep.
That's
So you start to feel old. It's like, shit, I
Yeah.
gotta spend money on Christmas now. It's usually getting stuff.
Yeah, but like it makes you feel good, man. Like when you can, just create a smile on someone's face because you got them their favorite present or that experience or whatever. I think that's like what I've been learning more and more throughout life. It's just like, how good can you make people feel around you? And it gets better and better.
Yeah. Obviously, you're able to do all of these things because your business is successful. You're able to drive the supercar, fly to all these countries. What's, I mean, and feel free not to share if you don't want to. What's the best month you've ever had?
I don't know yet. I haven't done my accounting. I'm waiting on my accountant to actually finish last year. I think we're still in the process of doing that. So I'm curious to know as well at this point.
Okay.
All I know is as long as my bank account's not going negative and I'm able to reinvest into my business, I'm doing good.
Yeah,
But knowing how much I make, I have no clue right now.
that's perfectly fair.
Yeah.
It's the simplest way to look at it, right? As long as there's some cash in the account and you know that things are working in the
I
back
mean, put
end.
it to you this way: I've spent over $8 million on my company last year on building it, and just like improving it, warehouses, infrastructure, mentorship, all that. So I know how much I spend. I just don't know how much I make yet.
Well, let's just go off of the simple math that you're not in the negative.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
you're most likely doing anywhere from 750 to 1.2 million a month at that kind of spend rate or more.
something like that, I guess. Yeah.
So I want to ask that because to get to the more entertaining part here, I know you like to have a good time. What does Vlad do after a good month, or what is your form of enjoying yourself?
Sheesh. Well, I like sports a lot, man. I like to go snowboarding. This season of snowboarding kind of sucked because I was recovering from my ACL surgery. So I only got, I think, 2 trips in this season. Typically, I'll take 4 to 5 trips snowboarding. And this is like a new hobby I picked up over the course of like last 4 years.
Nice.
I go wakeboarding. I go to the gym all the time, and then it's just like I like to travel and have really cool people around me. So I just got back from Colombia. I was celebrating my birthday there, I got a yacht. It was me and 2 of my best friends, and we had 30 women on that boat. Man, that was insane. So stuff like that I love doing. Going to like I actually just found out I love hockey games. I don't watch sports. Like I hate watching sports on TV, but like my friends randomly invited me to a hockey game. I was like, that was so much fun. I think I'm gonna start doing more of that.
We're lucky the Panthers are about to start tonight our new playoff series against the Boston Bruins.
Yeah, I think
If
that's.
you
I
can
was
make it,
watching this Panthers game.
yeah, if you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
make it out to a Panthers game, this is the best hockey right now.
Yeah, that was fun. I just like to do anything that's active. I love to have beautiful women around me, as you guys will see on social media. That kind of stuff, man. Anything adrenaline pumping, I like shooting guns. Anything that comes to my mind, really. I love trying new things too.
What are some of your favorite mountains to snowboard? I love skiing. I've been around a little bit.
Yeah, so far my favorite places I would say is Vail, and Park City, Utah. I
Park
like that.
City's amazing.
I like those mountains a lot because their training park's really nice. That's kind of why I tore my ACL. So, but yeah, I think those are so far. I haven't really done much Europe, or at all. I've only been in Canada for Mont Tremblant. Yeah, I love to drink. I love going out drinking.
That's like a great part about skiing, snowboarding.
Fuck
People
yeah.
don't people like see the action part, but man, midway through your run, a shooter and 2 3 beers, you are feeling electric going down those
Bro,
mountains.
I remember, I think I was, I flew these 2 girls out with me. The first day, they never snowboarded before in their life. So it's kind of like I was taking it slow, I wasn't drinking. And I'm like, damn, been snowboarding for like 4 years now. It's my first day I've been sober snowboarding because I was
Yeah.
responsible for 2 girls. So I'm like, I kept it light that day. So, but yeah, no, getting hammered and going on a snowboard is so much fun, man.
And there's just something different about being up in the mountains, quiet as can be, peaceful, relaxing. Like I think when you're working your ass off and you want to take a quote unquote sabbatical, there's like not that many things that are better than a good ski snowboard trip.
Yeah, I don't know anything that's more therapeutical or therapeutic. That's how you say it. Than snowboarding, man. When you're out in the mountain, even sometimes I literally just stop in the middle of the mountain, sit down, and I'm just like looking. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow,
It's amazing. Like it's
life.
literally breathtaking.
Yeah, yeah.
and it's just you. Like, you're with yourself up there. Even if you're with people, like, you're not having a conversation as you're hauling ass down the mountain. So it's just you and the mountain, and I think there's something really nice about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So that those are the things I like to do. I want to I think this summer we're gonna go to Greece from Mykonos, but I also one of my buddies his family owns some helicopters, so I'm
Oh.
gonna do some wakeboarding off a helicopter. I think that's gonna be badass.
Yeah, that's super normal, really casual. Everybody wakeboards off helicopters. I'm sure I will see that on social media when that happens.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if you know, that's a missed opportunity. There's not that many people.
Dude, I saw it once on Instagram. I'm like, dude, I have to
Needed.
do that. I have to do that.
Yeah. There's like in Vegas, they have that like machine gun off of the side of the helicopter.
Oh yeah, I do that all the time. Actually, I've done it twice already.
Oh, okay,
It's
cool.
so much fun.
Okay,
it is insane.
That's
bro.
like one of the highest things on my bucket list of like, dude, I gotta do that.
So the thing is, it really depends on the budget you're trying to spend. But you could shoot tanks with them. You could blow shit up in the mountain, man. Those are a lot of things you could do. I'm taking it step by step because I go to Vegas a lot. So like the first time I just shot the normal gun. Next time I upgraded to a different gun to shoot. Probably next time I'm gonna get a Tommy gun, and probably I might try a tank or wait till the next time, just so I have something else to look forward to
Yeah.
in Vegas outside of like drinking.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's in Vegas, it's like drinking, gambling, and then maybe 3 or 4 different things that you can do, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I go all the time for like trade shows and stuff, so I'm like there a lot.
Yeah.
And I never got into gambling or anything like that, so.
That's good. It's not the best vice to have.
Yeah, I mean, dude, there's some people that make a lot from poker and stuff like that, but
It's a full-time job though. If
Yeah.
you're really gonna lock in.
yeah, it was never my thing. I'd rather spend that. Look, I know I'm gonna lose money gambling, so I might as well lose money freaking doing something I like or doing something stupid.
Yeah, for sure. So you mentioned that you bought a yacht.
Yeah.
Is the yacht for pleasure? Is the yacht for business?
And everything I do is for business, bro. I bought that boat when I was 27. So that was like 3 years ago. Wow, time flies. So we bought it to charter it out. It never actually did good. Me and my business partner were way too busy to try to manage that business.
Yeah.
It was a huge money pit. Now we finally got a contract in Mexico. One of the resorts, we got a contract, so we shipped it off to Mexico, and it's doing yacht charters in Tulum right now.
Oh shit.
So we're actually starting to make money on that. Not that I even cared. It's just nice to know that another business is successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and is that like if somebody listening, because we have a bunch of people from Miami and it's so popular to go to Tulum,
Yeah.
does somebody reach out to you to book that?
No,
Or
I have no idea actually how
Okay.
it's worked because it's managed by a resort. So
Got
I
it.
don't know.
Don't know. Just sign
Yeah.
the contract, you get the money, and then we'll call it even.
Yeah, because I'm not involved in managing that whatsoever.
Got it. So, coming back to the business side of the house, do you have anything newer that you're launching, or is just continuing to innovate on this brand and going all in?
Right now, I'm just like there's a few things that I'm building out internally, but like it's nothing to really change. It's really just once I completely can take myself out of the companies, that's my next goal.
Yeah.
So then from there, if I want to build something else, I can, or I could just like really do whatever I want. At the end of the day, it's like we'll always work, right?
Mhm, yep.
We'll never retire. But there's you go through cycles in life. You go like I'll go on a sprint for a year, 2-3 years, and I'll take my gas off the pedal a little bit and just enjoy, do some fuck shit, and then go back to building.
Yep.
That's kind of like how it is for guys like us. We're never gonna stop working.
Yeah, it's funny. When you talk to people who aren't built like that or aren't wired that way, they just don't get it. And it's like, for me, I've got a great high-paying day job, but I want to do this right after. Clock out of that, boom, we're right into this. And people are like, why? And I'm like, I just can't stop. Like, I can't stop wanting to build.
It's a game, man.
It's a game.
It's not work. It's like when I wake up and start working on business, I don't feel like I'm at work.
No, it's a game.
Yeah, it's like when I go to the gym, I don't feel like that's like an exercise. I'm having fun. I'm lifting. I'm like seeing progress in my body. And then, when I work on my business, it's like, cool, I'm helping these people today, or I'm helping these people today, or solving this problem. And then, like, I do whatever I want. Like,
Yeah.
at the same time, it makes money. It's cool.
You mentioned fitness a few times here and going to the gym. which I think is amazing, that there's, at least in my eyes, a huge transition of people now wanting to take fitness more serious, wanting to pay attention of what they're putting in their body, which I think is really positive for America itself. How has your fitness journey been for you, and how important is having that in your life when you're building and locked in?
I think the most important thing is just the head clarity that I get from it. It's like if I don't go to the gym that day, like I just feel off. It's
Yeah.
just really weird when you don't go to the gym. And don't get me wrong, like yesterday, I didn't even leave the couch. I just need a break from all my week of partying. But I think the most important thing is just head clarity. Like really, how you look is not as important as how you feel throughout the journey. Because like hey, some people naturally can have. It's a lot easier for them to like have abs.
Mm-hmm.
Some people it's a lot easier for them to gain mass. Right. At the end of the day, man, it's just like why do we want to look better? Because for a guy, I don't care what you say, you want to get laid more. I don't care what your excuse is to wanting to look good and healthy. You want to get laid. Girls, it's like they don't care about how you look. They don't care about your money. They care how you make them feel. All right. Now, yes, does money help? Absolutely. Does looks help? Absolutely. But you got to know how to use them still. So that's why like girls that don't know me, they'll come up, they'll be around me. It's like, oh, I don't care about your money. It's like, bitch, yes you do. You just don't know me yet.
Yeah.
Like now it's like when I take a girl out, fly her out on a trip or something. Like, oh, now all of a sudden they like money. They don't care about the car. Yes, they don't care about the car, but like once they're sitting inside it and other people looking at them and they're riding with me, they're like, oh, now they care about the car, right? You look good. Yes, you're gonna get more attention, and that's one of the reasons. Is that why I work out? That's definitely one of the reasons why I work out. But the mental clarity of just working out, that's the best.
What is your take on women in Miami? Because I know it's an interesting topic. I'm born and raised in Miami, and the city has changed dramatically. What is your opinion on women in Miami?
I've said this before and I'll say it again. Women in Miami are ruined. It is a completely different world. Now, am I saying that all the women that were born in Miami are terrible? Not necessarily. Depends on the area that you live in. Women that come here and to party and stay because of the party, yeah, they're ruined. Again, it depends what you like. There's simps out there that will like anything. They'll do anything for an OnlyFans girl. Those are for the simps. For guys that like us that want more out of life, we work hard, we achieve success. There's a certain type of preference that we have, and it'll always be like that. And I don't care what any woman has to say about that. It's just how guys are, and that's how life's gonna be.
Yeah, and again, for someone that's lived in Miami my whole life, I've seen the transition and the amount of people that come from Miami, and I still have some single friends that are out on the scene. It makes me feel very blessed and fortunate that I was able to find somebody who is not part of that whole world and is now.
Now, what I've noticed with the women that are from Miami and like are not trying, they understand how other girls getting ruined. I typically see them start moving out. They're moved to a different location or completely out of the state or whatever the case is, but they're smarter. But then for some reason, I'm talking about women in Miami. They still think that I'm talking about them. If you're smart and you're understanding life, and you're not ruined, then you're not. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I think there's just so much money in Miami that it's so easy for these girls to just fall into the trap of like every weekend because they're not paying for anything.
Well, it's because they're the currency. Women are the currency when it comes to Miami, right? You get into clubs for free. You go to dinners for free. Why? Because you are the product. When you on social media, the people are the product, right?
Yep.
That's why I spend hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, or sometimes even millions of dollars on social media, on ads, paid advertising, because I get people,
Yep.
right? So women are the currency in these cities. That's why they get everything for free, because they're the ones that. Why do you think guys go out to clubs to meet women?
No, it's just to hang out with the boys until 3 in the morning.
Yeah, it's like they are the currency, and like you gotta understand it, and you gotta be smart, right? No matter if you're a guy or a girl, you gotta understand how to play life and get the result that you want. Because a lot of people they're not getting the result that they want
Yeah.
because they don't know what they're doing.
That's why they're out trying to find the results late at night, and usually it's just
Well, it's not even that. It's like if you want like a husband, then like don't do that. If you just want to have fun, get flown out, and enjoy your your 20s, then understand what you're gonna do. If you want a husband and stuff, you probably shouldn't be partying and getting flown out, right? But if you want to get flown out, have fun, do a bunch, experience life in a different way, understand there's consequences. And if your girl wants a husband, don't go out. You might miss on a lot of things in life. Really, you got to have a balance.
just depends on what you want.
Exactly.
I think this is something that people listening right now may be curious. How transactional is it when you fly a girl out? Like, are they used to it? Is it standard business protocol?
It really just depends on the person that's flying them out, man. Because I've had friends do it, and it's really fucking weird. Typically, I'll FaceTime a girl. I'll build some sort of a relationship with a girl before I would fly her out because I got to be able to. They got to be a cool person.
Yeah.
Like if it's purely transactional, then it's like, dude, it's like you're flying out a hooker. It's fucking weird,
Yeah.
right? Again, it just depends on a person. I'm very picky with who I keep around myself. So I do my due diligence before I make that type of a commitment.
Do you have any intention of settling down anytime soon, or are you just going to continue to live life, or kind of, if it happens, it happens?
I believe we, as humans, constantly change, and we change based on our experiences. What I will be and who I will be in the next 5 years, 7 years, I don't know. I know I'm just going to grow and evolve. Now, will it get more of what I am now, or am I going to change completely? I don't know. But I'm not closed to anything.
Yeah.
I'm just here to experience this weird thing called life.
The question that I had mentioned earlier that I always like to ask at the tail end of an interview is, if you look 10 years from now and you're looking back at the current you, what has to happen in the next 10 years for you to think you succeeded?
There's like a lot of weird personal goals. Like for instance, I want to own a private jet. That would be really freaking cool. So I want to work towards that. But at this point, it's just like I just want to see progress. As long as I'm further ahead. I mean, a decade is a long time, man. Like people overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in a decade, right? For me, whatever I think I can accomplish in a decade, it's probably going to be 10 times more. So I don't know exactly because just looking back at 20, I never would have imagined where I would be at 30. Like
Yeah.
insane difference in mindset and just understanding a little bit more of life. No one ever understands what life is. No matter if you're 60 years old, you're still trying to figure it out. Like, what the hell's going on, man? Still can't figure out taxes at 60. Like, that's how people are. But as long as I'm progressing, because that's what keeps me going, it's progress. It's not money means nothing, right? I just want to see progress.
Yeah, I think that's very fair and a very real answer. There's probably a handful of entrepreneurs that are still with us right now in this conversation, still watching. If you had 60 seconds to deliver one piece of advice to just one person that might still be listening right now that might impact them, what would that be?
The things that you're afraid of right now are not really real. And once you cross the paths, because whatever you're afraid of will come, you're going to realize it's not as bad as you think it is. Failure is part of the process, and you should be excited towards it. And once you start realizing you're able to get anything that you want, you're going to get addicted to it, and you're going to be able to duplicate that because success leaves clues. Build yourself, invest into yourself, and don't be afraid.
Gold. Brother, where can people reach out to you? Where can people connect with you? What's the main social media?
Yeah, the newest handle on Instagram is Vladdy Daddy. Finally got that. VLADY Daddy. So that's the easiest way. If you're interested in partnering with us for business, enopolyautomation.com. And yeah, those are the best ways.
Awesome. And all of that's going to be linked in the description below for you all to go and connect with Vlad. Or if you want to work with his company, the information will be linked below. thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for coming on the podcast,
Yeah, of
brother.
course. Thanks for having me, Andres. You're awesome.
Thank you, brother. I can't wait to continue to interview you as you continue to grow and be successful. And I know this is going to be a long-lasting relationship.
Likewise.
Awesome.